Charmander, what's wrong? I actually thought you looked pretty good, man. Oh, yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 didn't get a nomination for the 2018 Video Game Awards. You think they got snubbed? Well, then let's talk about it. Did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 get snubbed for the 2018 Video Game Awards? So, as it turns out, one of the biggest and best RPGs from the last year did not actually get any sort of nomination for the 2018 Video Game Awards. And the game I'm talking about is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And there are two categories in particular where a lot of people are a little bit up in arms about this game not making it in. And that's for Best Role-Playing Game and Best Score. Role-Playing Game because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an RPG, it is a role-playing game, and also Best Score because a lot of people feel very strongly about how great the music is in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And me personally, I agree. I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does deserve to be in these nominations. When I look at the nominations for those categories, I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 deserves to be right in there. So then, why isn't Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in there? Well, I think ultimately comes down to subjectivity. Everyone has different opinions, and there is a group of people who decide which games make it in. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for whatever reason, didn't. But there's a reason why a lot of people are upset about this. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a very popular game. It's pretty damn good. It, personally to me, was the best RPG from 2017, so why didn't it make it in? Well, I'm sure a lot of you might say, well, that's because it came out in 2017. It shouldn't be in these nominations, except here's the thing. It actually should. If you go and actually check the rules for the Video Game Awards, this is what they have to say in terms of cutoff dates and eligibility for this year. Games eligible for the Game Awards this year must be available for public consumption on or before November 16, 2018. Titles that are released after this date will be eligible for the Game Awards ceremony in 2018. And then in parentheses, similarly, games that were released in December 2017 are eligible for this year's awards. So here's the thing. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out in December 2017. So then, technically, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is eligible to be a part of the nominations this year. That said, maybe there's another reason why. Maybe the game just isn't good enough. So while of course this is very subjective, if we look at Metacritic, which is a compilation of a whole bunch of review scores, this is how Xenoblade Chronicles 2 chalks up. So Pillars of Eternity, 88. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 only had an 83. Monster Hunter, a 90. Ni no Kuni, 84. Dragon Quest, 86. And then Octopath Traveler, 83. So in terms of the scores on Metacritic, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 actually is on the low end of things, but it does match up perfectly with Octopath Traveler, both of which sitting at an 83. But not only that, both games are million-plus sellers, so it's not like either of these games are unpopular, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is already an established franchise by Nintendo. So then, did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 actually get snubbed? Well, after taking a look at everything, I do kind of feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 could have easily been within these top 5, but Octopath Traveler seems like it kind of edged it out. Now, do I feel like Octopath Traveler deserves to be on there more so than Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I can't say because I actually haven't played through Octopath Traveler in its entirety. I've only played the demo yet. I just haven't gotten a chance to pick it up. But I do feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 should be valued very highly, and according to review scores and sales, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 should be just as valued as Octopath Traveler. And within the rules for the Game Awards, it is actually possible for there to be 6 nominations if there's a tie in voting. And based off what I'm looking at here in terms of sales and review scores, Octopath Traveler and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 match up pretty closely. So I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 should have somehow made it in there, but of course I can also see how it was slightly edged out and that these 5 nominations that are in here are the most fair 5 to be a part of the nominations for the Game Awards. That said, even if Xenoblade Chronicles 2 wasn't quite good enough for role-playing game, I really do feel strongly that maybe it should have been in the top 5 for best score, but it's also not there either. Ultimately, I feel like it's hard to say for sure, but a big part of me feels like the main reason why Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has 0 representation in the Video Game Awards has more to do with the fact that it came out in December. And while it may technically be eligible, I have to wonder if maybe the people who were involved with getting this game nominated just didn't pick it due to recency bias. And when I say recency bias, I mean that games that came out not too long ago are being valued more highly just because it came out not too long ago, as opposed to games that came out at the beginning of the cutoff date. But ultimately, this all comes down to opinion, and you can never really say for sure. A lot of this is subjective. That said, I do feel like the Game Awards should take place at a later date. I feel like January is a better time. And my main reasoning for this is that I feel that the biggest games of the year in general come out in November and December. This year for the Nintendo Switch, we're getting Pokemon Let's Go and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and neither game is actually a part of the Game Award nominations, yet I know that both of these games probably deserve to be there if they were actually within the cutoff date, but they're not. And these two games are Nintendo's biggest games of the year by a long shot. So then you tell me, do you think it's fair that the Game Awards has a cutoff date before the biggest time of the year in terms of sales where a company would want to release their biggest games? I don't, but maybe you guys disagree, maybe you guys see it differently, so let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 deserves to be in the Game Awards to some capacity. For me, I feel like it could have easily have somehow been in there, and I do feel like recency bias definitely kind of snubbed it out, but at the same time, the games that are there are all very good, and they definitely deserve to be there as well. And of course, I enjoy the Game Awards, I think it's a great show, but I do think they should move it up a month or two so they can get a better selection of the year's best games. But anyways, everyone, those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye.